Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I'm a huge Eurovision fan as well as musician, and in today's video I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the running order for the grand final and my general thoughts and everything that I've picked up from this, just on a couple of the countries in here, just because some of these are quite surprising. And there's a few things that you can kind of deduce from this running order, I think. So let me know down below in the comments, firstly, what you think of the running order. Is there anything that surprised you here? Anything that you've changed your mind on in terms of your general predictions for the outcomes that are going to happen on Saturday? And I'll be interested to read all your thoughts and comments down below, and consider subscribing, of course, if you haven't already. So let's jump straight into this. And I think the first thing that really struck me was Austria opening the final. I'm really confused as to why they have put one of the front runners, one of the big favourites, to open. I genuinely don't understand, but it could really damage them. That's the problem. I guess there was just logistically nothing else they could do. They had to find a good show opener, something that would really get the crowd on their feet, get everybody hyped and excited. And I can't see anything else in this first half that would have kind of been a fair choice for the opening besides Austria. Maybe Poland, but still that would have been a controversial choice and perhaps not the best stage performance and vocal maybe to open with. So Austria, unfortunately, have lost their chances maybe of finishing in the top 5. I can still see a pathway to the top 10, but to be honest, yeah, it feels like it's very unlikely now. It's going to be forgotten, unfortunately. And then, of course, we also have Portugal in the slot of death, which I don't quite understand either. I think you've got an up-tempo song opening the show, and then you've also got an up-tempo song following it. Both have a red colour scheme as well, so it feels a bit squished together. It might kind of blend. They might be forgotten. So I feel a bit sorry for Portugal as well. But again, what other choices did they have? I mean, Switzerland, Serbia, but I'm not the one making this running order. So another one that really kind of stuck out to me was France being in 6th. I think it's quite early for them. I expected them to be a bit later, given that they're one of the favourites this year. But the first half has been absolutely crammed with a lot of the favourites this year, and that's kind of like no one's fault because it was all selected from a random draw, so there's not much they can do about it. But again, France's chances might have been slightly damaged here because it is kind of like one of the favourites that's early on, and it might soon be forgotten because you've got other vocal powerhouses following straight afterwards. So here are the songs that are now, I think, benefiting from the running order. So you got Spain here. I think Spain has got a good form in this running order. Despite it being kind of early, it's going to be a memorable performance. It's coming after Cyprus, and that's quite dramatic and quite a predictable song, while Spain is just as dramatic, I'd say, but very unpredictable. And I think that will either lose an audience or gain an audience. We'll see how people respond to it, but it is going to stand out a mile. And of course, Sweden as well in 9th. This is also a really good running order spot for Sweden. But I read somewhere that because of their staging, there was basically no other option but to put them in 9th, because they need to come after a commercial break. They need that breathing space to set everything up and pack everything away afterwards. And of course, Albania is following Sweden, and Albania's staging is a lot less complicated, so it's probably just logistically an easier decision to make as well. So Albania, unfortunately, I think has been done a bit dirty in this running order. They're kind of being used as a bit of a filler here, but still I think they will stand out nonetheless. So Sweden is looking really, really good in this case, and Spain, I'd say. I think those two are going to be really, really great one after the other. I know some people kind of think, these two vocal powerhouses, one after the other, is someone going to overshadow someone else? But no, I actually think it's going to be entertaining television to watch one after the other. Just a beautiful song followed by a beautiful staging and song. I think that's going to look and sound really great, and really like hammer home to the audience that this isn't just a joke contest or anything silly. We've got some serious vocalists in here who know what they're doing and are bringing something really special to the stage. So that's great. And then also I think Italy is really benefiting from this running order, and they have shot up in the odds as well, because I think with this one the staging is quite simple, but it's very beautiful, just like the song. And I think they've hit the nail on the head with the staging. And also it's slightly damaging Estonia, because Estonia has a similar vibe to Italy, following one after the other. I think Estonia might fall a little bit flat, but I still expect her to do well with the juries. I'm thinking more in terms of the televote. This might not do necessarily as well as we expected maybe a few weeks ago. And then by far, probably the best running order slot of this whole grand final is Finland, which I am extremely happy about. So Finland has by far an absolutely fantastic running order slot, and I think they've got very lucky here, because if you think about it, they are coming after so many ballads. We got a ballad here, a ballad here, a ballad here, a sort of mid-tempo ballad here, a mid-tempo ballad here, a ballad here, a mid-tempo ballad here. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be quite a slow pace, still really great vocals going on, but Finland is just going to be like this explosion on stage, and that's really going to benefit them in the televote. I'm not so sure myself about the jury vote, because if you think about it, a lot of the songs coming before Carrier are going to be vocally very strong, and his is all about the rap rather than the vocals, and it's all about the fun element and the catchiness. So it's whether the juries are going to really be like drawn towards the ballads before him or towards the brightness and colourfulness of his performance. And is it going to draw attention to his lack of vocal ability in comparison to the ones before it? So that's a really interesting thing. We'll see what happens with the juries, and whether those more conservative juries will kind of come through in more of a, I guess, a bigger result, as in tanking Carrier. We'll see. And then Czech Republic, Czechia are following in 14th after a break, so they are opening the second half of the grand final. I think that's a pretty good position for them. I know a lot of people have been going on about how them following Finland might damage them, but I think there will be a bit of a breathing space in between the two songs anyway, so people will be recovering from Finland, but they will have enough opportunity at some point to then look at Czechia and kind of like admire what's going on with that one as well. And I do think as well Australia have been given a pretty decent running order slot here, so that's great. And then I'd say Belgium as well are benefiting from this, because, you know, they're coming in a row of up-tempo songs, but Australia is more of like a rock approach. Belgium is much more of this kind of 90s style house music with much more of an LGBTQ plus appeal in terms of the televote, and a great vocal. Armenia following as well. I think this part of the running order here has been crafted really well by the producers. I think all of these benefit from this running order, because they're all incredibly different from each other, and they're going to each and individually stand out. Whilst more in the first half here, you know, I'm slightly worried about Switzerland and Poland and Serbia here. It's a bit of a drag as well, going all the way down to Finland as well, but there will be some gems that stand out here, like Sweden, like Italy, maybe Spain as well. But yeah, this part of the running order down here feels much better here. And then you come down to Germany, and this one I think could be a televote dark horse. I'm not so sure yet what's going to happen, but I reckon Germany this year are going to surprise. This stands out so much, and the stage show that they've brought feels very authentic and very different from everyone else. So we'll see what happens, but it could also be like a bottom 5. I think it's incredibly hard to call in this case, but I've got my eye on it for sure. Lithuania is a dark horse with the juries as well. This could finish in the top 10 with the juries, we'll see. I don't know. Her vocals were outstanding yesterday. They really were. I was incredibly blown away by her performance, and I think she'll be rewarded. And as well, Israel is looking pretty good. There's a lot of smiley faces on here, I know, but Israel is looking pretty good. I think coming after Lithuania, both quite strong vocally, but as well, they've got more of an upbeat stage performance and song in general. Her vocals are pretty good. Her dance break is very unique and it will stand out. Slovenia following, I'm not sure about this because people might be talking about Israel and not watching Slovenia. I'm not sure if there's going to be a break between these two, so we'll see. But they can stand out on their own as well. They're very talented, got good stage presence and charisma. I thought their performance in the semi-final was one of the best of the night and they really stood out. So I think they can hold their own here, but I'm just wondering, in between something like Israel and then Croatia following, which has got a really good running order slot here, will Slovenia get a bit lost in between these two? I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I would like them to crack the top 10 in both jury and televote because I think they deserve it in terms of the quality of the music they've brought this year, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. What I'm thinking now is by far the song that's in the most danger this year is my own country, United Kingdom. I feel really bad about this, but I was not impressed with the clip that I saw of her jury rehearsal. It felt vocally quite weak. There's an inherent lack of harmony in the song anyway, and this is absolutely being shown up in the live performance. I think there's a lack of energy. It just screams bottom 5 to me, and I feel so bad about that because the song itself is great. It has potential. I initially thought we were coming for a top 10 finish this year when I first heard the song, and I had a lot of faith in it, but I think they've slightly dropped the ball with this because there's just something missing. They needed maybe some more vocalists on stage providing harmonies just to fill out the sound a bit more, and we needed her to be choreographed a bit better so that she wasn't losing her breath and struggling to sing as she is. So I do feel quite concerned about where we're going to come. I hope that if we finish at least, in the top 20, that will be good. But my fear is that we might come last again with a low score and then all of the media turns rotten against Eurovision again. And I really just don't want that to happen because our hosting this year has been so good. We've really pulled out the stops with the hosting. I've been so impressed, and I just don't want that magic to immediately run away because we're not going to do as well as everyone expected initially. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the running order. So I think really the winner of this running order is probably Finland in this case. So what is that saying to us? Are the producers trying to communicate potentially that they think this one has a chance of winning? And it's slap bang in the middle of everything. So what they want to do is hold the audience into the middle, and then they'll probably say, oh, you need to stay tuned for Croatia as well, something like that, and Israel, just to hold everyone's attention. So you've got these, good entries at the beginning for people to tune in for, like Austria, and then Sweden and Spain as well, France, and then Italy, Finland, and then you've got Norway as well, Armenia potentially, and then Israel, Croatia, and then, depends on which country you're from as well. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts. Let me know down below what you think about this. And stay tuned because tomorrow I'll be showing you guys my grand final predictions, which includes the split results. So we'll see what happens with that. And I'm so excited for tomorrow night. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.